Hi, this is Alfausia Nihar from At Home Tuition. Welcome to our session today. The topic that we are going to discuss today is the continuation of our previous video, presentation of data. In our previous video, we started with the tabular form, pie charts, contingency table. Now let's continue the pie chart type. Now let us see what is a simple pie chart. Already we have discussed the merits and demerits of pie charts. Here is an example. So using the same data from this table, but this time let us include the total number of students enrolled for BA, BCom and BSc. We shall now display the distribution of students for these three courses, the population in this table. You can refer our previous video for the previous table. I have just taken only the total number of students here. Now let's draw the pie chart for this given information. Here is the pie chart for the distribution of students enrolled for BA, BCom and BC. You just have to draw the pie chart along with the percentage, and then you have to mention different colors to denote each of the type. Here I have mentioned three different colors to denote BA, BCom and BC. So it is customary to include a legend to relate the colors or patterns used for each sector to its corresponding data as shown in this figure. Hope you are clear with simple pie chart. Now let's see what is a bar chart. This type, the bar chart, is one of the most common methods of presenting data in a visual form. Its main purpose is to display quantities in the form of bars. A bar chart consists of a set of bars whose heights are proportional to the frequencies that they represent. Please note that the figure may be drawn horizontally or vertically. There are different types of bar charts. It depends on the number of variables and types of information to be displayed. Before starting with an example, I would like to give you the general merits and its limitations too. Okay, here we go. Let's start with the merits. Merits are the quantities can be easily read in terms of height of the bars, and you can easily compare. Comparison can be made between the values of a variable, and it can be even used for non-numerical data. So in that way, bar chart will be very helpful. But even this type is also having some limitation. The main first limitation is the class interval. The class interval must be equal in distribution, and it cannot be used for a continuous variable. That is the one big demerit of bar chart. Any additional merit or demerit for each type of bar chart will be mentioned in its corresponding section. So I'll include and mention the demerits and merits of each type whenever I get the information. And now let's see what is a simple bar chart. The simple bar chart is used for the case of only one variable. So in the table I have shown a variable is age. So you can look at this example, age of the students on one column and number of students, the frequency of the students in another column. Finally, I have also found the total. This is just an example for the simple bar chart. Please remember that simple bar chart is only for only one variable. So using this information, I'm going to draw a chart. Please look at the simple bar chart for age distribution of students. On the x-axis, I have fixed for age and y-axis is for number of students. The heights of the bar shows the relative importance of each age in the population of students. Apart from the fact that the mode is clearly 22, one may also deduce that the distribution is slightly negatively skewed, meaning that there are more old students than young students. If you draw the graph, it will be tilted towards the right side. So this is what you have to know about the simple bar chart. Because we are using just only one variable, the chart looks very simple. Now let's see what is a multiple bar chart. Here is an example for multiple bar chart. I have taken a table. Based on this table, we are going to create a bar chart. The multiple bar chart is just an extension of a simple bar chart when there are quantities of several variables to be displayed. The bars representing the quantities for the different variables are piled next to one another for each attribute. Please have a glance over this table. Now let us construct a bar chart for this one. Here is the multiple bar chart showing the results for BA, BCom and BC. So this shows how an array of frequencies may be very easily displayed on a multiple bar chart. And I have mentioned the colors for pass, sub and fail. And please note that the x-axis is for courses and y-axis is for results. This is how a multiple bar chart will be displayed. So you can compare the simple bar chart and this one and understand the difference between these two. That is only for one variable, and here you can use many variables, and there is no gap between the bars between this. Hope you're clear with this example. So the main merit for this type is you can compare. The comparison may be made among components of the same variable, and comparison is also possible for the same component across all variables. And when we talk about the limitations, you can say that the figure becomes very cumbersome when there are too many variables and components. So that is the main fact, and only absolute, not relative values are available. So it is much easier to compare component percentages across variables. So you should know the merits and demerits before doing the multiple bar chart. When there are too many variables, the task may be a bit difficult when you're dealing with multiple bar chart. Now let's see what is a component bar chart. I have taken the same table that we use for multiple bar chart. You can have a glance over the table. In this type of bar chart, the components, the quantities of each variable, are piled on top of one another. In the multiple bar chart, it has been arranged one the next to other without no gap, but here you're going to arrange piled on the top of one another. Okay, let us draw the component bar chart for this example. So here is the component bar chart showing the results of each course. Did you see that it has been piled one upon the other? Yeah, this is how a component bar chart will look like. Now let us see what are the merits of component bar chart. Here the comparison may be made among components of same variable, and comparison is also possible for the same component across all variables. It saves space as compared to multiple bar chart. That is obvious from seeing the chart. And let us see the limitations. The only absolute, not relative values are available. It is much easier to compare component percentages across variables. And the other limitation is it is awkward to compute the quantities for individual components. That may be obvious by looking at the chart. Okay, now let us see what is a percentage bar chart. Percentage bar chart is also called as component bar chart. Now let's see what is a percentage component bar chart. A percentage bar chart, the component bar chart displays the components, the quantities percentage of each variable piled on top of one another. There is a refinement of the component bar chart since, irrespective of the number of components, the height of the bars are always kept to a given value, 100%. The difference between the previous one and this percentage bar chart is the x-axis and y-axis. On the y-axis, here we are going to take the percentages, and the limit is 0 to 100%. Let us see the percentage bar chart that shows the results for the each course. I am going to consider the same example, the results of BA, BCom and BSc, and let us see the percentage bar chart. The reason why I am taking the same table is you will understand the difference between the each type of bar charts. Please look at the bar chart. On the y-axis, I have taken the percentages on the scale 10-20. And on the x-axis I have taken the courses. The left side is just the results, and x-axis denote the courses. And this is very similar to the previous type. It is piled one upon the other. So this figure presents the same data as for the previous example. Hope you are clear with this example. This is how a percentage bar chart will look like. And after making the chart, you should mention the differences of colors. The colors denotes what? So each variable has to be given different color. Hope you are clear with this example. We'll be discussing each type detailedly in separate videos. For whatever type of discussion we have, or whatever type of charts or the data presentation, there will be merits as well as demerits. And let us see what is the merit for percentage bar chart. Here, comparison may be made among components of same variable, and comparison is also possible for the same component across all variables. And on the top of everything, it saves space as compared to a multiple bar chart. So multiple bar chart will be complicated even if we have too many variables. Okay, now let's see what is the limitation for this percentage component bar chart. This is very similar to the other bar charts, only relative not absolute values are available. And it is not possible to compute quantities unless the totals are known. Without the totals, the percentage bar chart is not possible at all. It is awkward to compute the percentages for individual components. You have to calculate the percentage for each and every component. Only then you can make the percentage bar chart. And same percentage do not mean necessarily mean same quantities. This may be calculated unless totals are known. In our coming videos, we can look at the histograms or gives, the curves, the cumulative frequencies in detail. After that, we will be discussing each type of the presentation of data separately with unique examples. Hope you're clear with today's video. In case if you have any question, please let me know. See you in the next video. Have a great time ahead. Thanks for watching.